This is Arts Alive Remote, and we are coming to you from the McMinnville Saturday Public Market. I'm Linda Philippi, and my guest today is John Stromme, and he is an artist here who has a regular gig at the Saturday Public Market, so we're going to find out all about him. So welcome.
Hi.
Glad you could be here today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
You want to start off by telling us maybe a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I've lived here in McMinnville for 14 years, and I recently became a full-time professional artist. I've painted most of my life. I started when I was 13.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what had happened was, actually 12. What had happened is the teacher at school told on me, and she said, "John is not doing any of the work. All he does is draw monsters all day, and that's it." And so my mom's response to that was to send me to art school for the summer.
Oh, okay.
Right. So evidently my Frankenstein pictures were subpar.
Oh.
And so anyway, so that was, that's just the kind of person she was. And so I've been painting, throughout my life since then. And paintings always come back to me and revisited different times, when I had the time and could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now at this stage in my life, it's a full-time occupation.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And you live here in McMinnville?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And we've been here since '96. That's 15 years, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we'll look up and see if the answers are
yeah.
like many of the other answers.
A little visual thing.
And so we were talking about maybe that you would kind of address some of the frequently asked questions that you get as an artist working here. So, you said people sort of ask you, how long have you been doing this? Or
I've been painting since I was 13. Mm-hmm. And like I say, it's been, different times in my life I was more active than others. Mm-hmm. Let's see, what else did they ask me? I get a lot of people want to know what type of paints I use, and all of these paints are acrylics. I use a product called Golden, which is a really high-end acrylic brand paint, and I use acrylics because I don't want to be around the odors of oils.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about.
Sure.
My mom just passed from Alzheimer's, late stages Alzheimer's.
Oh, really?
I don't want to go down the path she went down, so
No.
I don't want to be around anything that I can smell because you're ingesting it basically.
You sure are.
So anyway, so I got into the acrylics, and plus the other part of that answer is that I'm too impatient for oils.
Okay.
That's probably the real answer.
Okay,
actually.
yeah.
But the truth is the acrylic paints have as good a light fastness or beyond the oil paints now. Mm-hmm. Plus they'll never crack. So if you really analyze it as a product, it's actually, a lot of people argue these days it's a superior product for longevity.
Really?
Yeah. So some people just really want oils, but acrylics are pretty big these days. So.
Now, after your first go-round at art school when you were a kid, have you had any other lessons or classes or?
No.
Really?
No, everything I've learned has been self-taught, and of course self-studied through reading books and just trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep doing something long enough, eventually you figure it out. Although that's a hard way to learn, but.
Oh yeah.
But I've got different CDs and things like that. A lot of books and
trial and error.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of that. And a lot of just firsthand instruction from other artists too.
Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah, a good friend of mine is Hirofumi Glover. I don't know if you've ever met Hiro, but he comes to the market here. Mm-hmm. And so I've gotten a lot of help from him and my friend Lester. And it's been kind of like that.
So it's a nice community then of artists.
Yeah, the McMinnville Saturday Public Market is just wonderful.
Well, how did you kind of get involved here at the market?
Actually, the mother of my children, which is a nice way of saying my first wife, she told me about it. And we had just gone through a long-term illness with my son, and one day it was kind of funny. I'd kind of gone through a little bit of a dry spell on painting, and And one day Frances said to me, she says, or I said to Frances, we were up at OHSU in the cancer ward up there. There was a painting on the wall, and I said, you know, Frances, I says, that painting kind of makes me want to paint again. And she looks at me and she goes, well, you know, John, I always thought you could make a living painting. And I says,
Then why did I drive a bus all those years?
yeah, no, I didn't drive a bus, thank goodness. That would have been terrible for those kids. But, you know, so I just kind of like, you know, a switch went on, and you know, it was a kind thing for her to say.
Oh, yeah.
And I went home, and I took out my paints and started painting, and I haven't stopped since.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and
Wow.
and just, you know, not a day goes by. Oftentimes I'll start painting, and I might stop at 6 a.m. the next day or something.
Oh, really?
Just
Wow.
Because, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, if you have passion for it, you start going down this path, and then before you know it, all the time's kind of slipped away.
So in terms of your inspiration, do you take photographs and then come into the studio and paint, or?
Oftentimes I do that. But most of the paintings here, this was the inspiration. This was off of a photograph that I took when I was in Quito with my son. Was there for about 4 weeks, and this was taken in El Centro Historico in downtown Quito. They restored the whole area. What did I say? Did I say El Centro Historico?
Historico. That's what you said,
no,
yeah.
It was restored.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, yes, they restored that whole area. So I had taken that picture there. And then, you know, when I was painting it, I decided to kind of, you know, I added a couple extra elements. Like I gave the title of the painting is The Suitcase, and I gave this guy a suitcase. And then I gave this guy back here a blind man's cane and sunglasses, and, you know, kind of putting in the elements so people can tell their own story type thing, you know. And and then the rest of these are all just, I started painting, and that's what showed up.
Okay. So whatever, you just sort of work through whatever feels right in the moment.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
These two behind you here, there's two blue ones. I painted
I saw
the one
those,
on
yeah.
the left with my left hand, while I painted the one on the right with my right hand, so it was...
Kind of a mirror thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of a mirrored image. It's not truly a mirrored image, but close.
I was going to ask you about that because I know I was at a concert here maybe a week or a couple of weeks ago, and the music was playing, and I saw you over there painting with both hands, and I thought, well, now that's interesting. So
Yeah, it's a little unique.
Yeah.
I first started to paint with two hands because, well, I was looking for a way to market and a way to accept, you know, the world doesn't necessarily need another artist. There's millions of us out
yeah,
there.
well.
And many, many brilliant artists already. And so I was looking for a way to separate myself. And so that was kind of on the forefront of my mind. And then one day I just had this thought that I could paint with two hands. And so I picked up a couple pencils, and I had my pad, and I started drawing, and I drew out a landscape, and it came pretty natural for me.
Oh, really? Wow.
It was natural enough to where I knew I could do it. And then I just started. And then as I've gone, my left keeps getting better and better. And I'm certainly not ambidextrous. It's just, I think it's like people that play piano. You know, like Mike Strickland. Here's a classic example. He's not ambidextrous, but, you know, he's obviously
But you
got a
train
lot of
both
coordinate-
hands.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's like that. And now I just love it because it offers me the kind of the quiet mind I need to, you know, tap into the creativity that's already there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's
I
just,
just my son asked me once, Josh asked me, he says, Dad, how do you do that? And I says, well, I just try to get out of the way of the paint.
yeah, okay. Well, that makes, yeah. Do you ever find yourself sort of, I guess, inspired by the people, all the activity at the market? Have you done any market scenes?
Absolutely. No, I'm in the process. I've got a truck here somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Is that car? Is that a car or a truck?
I've got a truck here
Okay.
that I did. And I do these prints. What they are basically is giclées that I've painted over. And this is a $50 price point, so it's, it's a reasonable price that people can get a piece of original
Sure.
art without, breaking the bank. But this is the old truck that's out front, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
kind of embellished on it. And, I put Shannon's dad in there. And,
Oh, cute. Yeah, okay.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was just, a market scene. And then I've got another one I'm working on I'll eventually do. Yeah.
Wow. That's
So
great.
yes, I do.
So, I mean, and this is a year-round market, is that correct?
Yeah, all year long. Yeah.
And it's just Saturday?
Just Saturday, and it stays pretty much busy all year. Now, since I started this the March before last, and it's gotten just progressively better every week. Now it's really, really busy, and there's a lot going on here. There's usually there's always live music and just all kinds of different art forms.
Now, when you're not here, do you have a studio
Yeah.
at home?
I walk from my bedroom into my studio.
Okay.
Well, first I walk from my bedroom into my living room because that's where the coffee is.
Uh-huh.
And then I walk from there into my studio.
So your studio's at home?
Yeah.
That's
And
another-
It's just a bedroom.
Well, I was saying that's another reason maybe not to do oil, because,
Yeah, exactly.
it's kind of...
Exactly, yeah. And I don't want to paint in the garage.
No.
And I don't want to paint outside. I mean, I do sometimes paint outside, but, that in this area around here, that means what? You're going to paint three months out of
Yeah,
the year.
exactly.
So, so I paint most everything there.
And
And here, of course.
well,
I paint here every
yeah, you paint here too. Do you? Now, this is obviously sort of a ready-made gallery for you because people are coming and going all the time. But do you show your work anywhere else?
I show at the Roundtree Gallery in Salem. I'm not currently there because they're moving the gallery. And I kind of like I've been offered to show at a couple different places, and I haven't taken them up on it because I like this, and I like the process of finding out what somebody wants. And if I can change something that I've already got, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy having the opportunity to do that. But, a lot of my work is commissions.
Okay.
And so, I want that personal relationship with the person that's commissioning me to do the art. I've done some, let's see.
I was gonna say, what kind of things do people ask you to do in terms of a commission?
Usually, I don't have a picture of it. Usually, like I did one for a friend of mine, Deepak. I met him here, and he commissioned me to do his backyard. And his backyard
Oh.
is right behind the erratic rock.
Okay.
So it's these big rolling hills and all these trees. It's just beautiful. And so I painted I think it was a 28 by 60 inch painting of it. And I worked on that at the Linfield show.
Oh, okay.
Mike was good enough to inform me about. And that parlayed into a couple other commissions. And those, it just kind of goes from there.